Hey everyone, just like the slide says, I'm here to talk to you about the tipping point of web development. And spoiler alert, it's much closer than you think. But first, I want to thank you all who joined my session. I really hope you will find this session valuable and inspiring, and maybe in the next time that you will need to implement a web application, you will remember it. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Kobi. I've been working at Wix for the last 4 years as a team lead of Velo, which is our cloud developer platform. But I've been in web development for much longer, for around 12 years. And lots of things has changed since I got started. Even in my time at Wix, what we offer to developers has increased dramatically. But you probably all know Wix as a drag-and-drop website builder, which is true. But you probably don't know that we have over 230 million users, that you can easily write a native app, that we expose many back-office tools, and that you can write custom code that integrates with the whole Wix ecosystem. But before we get into that, let me talk about what I like the most, building web applications. So the fact is that web application has never been more easy or accessible than it is today. Improvements are happening all the time with framework and tools like Docker, React, Webpack, TypeScript, you name it. The list goes on and on. Those tools let us, the developers, the ability to write quick web applications in no time. So this is why I like, this is why I like writing from scratch. I'm a bit nervous. Okay. So when you write from scratch, you get the opportunity to bring your latest creativity, design patterns, everything you've learned, tools, framework, preference, and all of that. So let's take a look on a recipe for deploying such an app. First of all, I will scaffold my project. Here I chose React app. Then I will Dockerize my favorite web server. My go-to platform is Node, but you can choose whatever works for you. Then you will write some app logic and UI. Lastly, we will deploy it, sit back, and see how it changes the world. So our app is live. There is no debate about that. But is it really ready for today's world? Not really. Today, when we are developing a web application, we need to take in consideration many other factors, like global hosting, GDPR, cookie consent, multilingual, business application. Most of the web applications these days need some sort of back-office tools, like CRM, payments, user management, and many more. PII, responsive design, accessibility, web security, SEO, media services like CDNs or streaming services. And that's even before we talked about mobile apps. That's before the tipping point isn't coming. It's already here. What I mean is that I don't think it worth the effort to write a web app from scratch and deal with all those things I just mentioned earlier. So this is how I like to imagine myself when working on a web application. I am the driver. It's on me to win this. But I can't and I should do everything by myself. And that's where Wix comes into play. We have Velo, which is our full-stack developer platform that empowers our users to build, manage, and deploy professional web applications, and still get and integrate smoothly with the Wix ecosystem, so everything else is taken care of. When you choose Wix, you have a chance to enjoy both worlds. You have the freedom to customize this to your business needs, but still get a proven system powered by Wix. Let me show you what I mean. I prepared a demo, but before I will start to show you the demo, I want to emphasize a point. I split the demo into 2 phases, the design flow and the code flow. It's important to mention it in here because it solves one of the most frustrating points of our day-to-day work, the frictions between the designer and the developer, the back and forth until the designer ensures that the developer has implemented correctly. When you choose Velo, you get a different development flow. in Wix, the designer creates the design in Figma. Then he implements it using the Wix editor or Codex, which is a React-based WYSIWYG editor. And then the developer should focus only on the biz logic. So my demo will, the demo will demonstrate like we are building an application for a client that have like many houses for sale. And these specific clients really love cryptocurrencies. So he accepts crypto payments. And he wanted us to show side by side all of the houses with their prices. So let's get moving. Before I start, I forgot. Before this demo, I integrated with an external cryptocurrencies API via webhook. I will implement the webhook in the demo, but just note. So as you can see, we are starting from Wix, from blank Wix site. All we got in here, it's only one collection with places. We were going to choose the repeater, side-by-side view of all the elements in the database. While the designer will do its magic, I want to say I'm super excited to be here because you're going to get a quick glimpse of a project that my team is working on, which is in alpha state, closed alpha state, which is the VS Code, online VS Code integration with Wix, so that in one click you will get a full working Velo Wix setup. Sorry. So in a few minutes, the developer will turn on dev mode. Dev mode, it's like the entry point for developers in Wix. By the way, I forgot to say, but this is the Wix editor. Yeah. So let's finish. That the design will happen. So there is dev mode. We have something we call properties panel that you can add the IDs of the component that you want to interact with in the code. So as you can see, it's very split into design and code. So here we are going to declare the IDs, and then we'll be able to interact with them in the code. Here I click the button, and there is the online VS Code project I just told you about. I will start by adding a constants file because I hate duplicating strings across my project. We will have 3 constants. The collection constants, the currency constants that will include 2 properties, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a real-time channel that we will get the updated currencies values for all connected clients. Then I will open, wait a sec. I will open a special file in Wix, which is called HTTP functions. This file is kind of like an API to this specific site. It means that other systems can call this API via webhook and run this code. What I'm going to do in this code, I will take from the payload the currency's values, and then I will publish it to a specific channel, and all the clients will get the updated price, just like a socket. So as you can see, I'm using 2 Wix modules. One is for handling HTTP requests, and the other one is for handling like socket publish flow from the server. And by the way, there are many other APIs Wix expose, like email, bookings, members, whatever you might think. We have like lots of APIs. So let it be finished. Here I'm extracting the Bitcoin and the Ethereum values, preparing the response, and then I will publish it to the relevant channel. Before we will go to write some UI, page code we call it, I will write another helper that will help me manage the state of the currencies in my application. This helper will expose 2 namespaces. Each namespace will include 2 functions for Bitcoin value and Ethereum value. The first namespace will be like the prices, and the second namespace will be like the trend, whether the price has gone up or down since the last update. And the third thing I want to expose from this file is an update function, which gets the payload, that was sent via the socket and update the logic behind it. So here it goes. Just a few more seconds. There you go. Oh, didn't knew it would be like that. Believe me, I wrote the code. Okay, so I'm having a hard time to see it from here as well. Okay, so now we are in page code. I've imported two modules. I remember it by heart. Wix data and Wix real-time. Wix data is our connection to the database. By the way, you can connect it to any external database you want. And we have the Wix real-time, which is like the socket client. Then I will pick the repeater component. I will make two parallel requests, one to get the data and the other one to get to subscribe to a channel and pass the callback that should be executed when the message arrives. Wait a sec. Yeah, not that well. But as you can see, I'm fetching the payload, and I'm sending it to the currency helper. Then after both requests will be done, I will take the place data and render the repeater component, which displays all the items side by side, and show him, of course. The last thing I need to do is to declare something we call onItemReady function, which is kind of like the render function. In here, you can see that I will pick all the components that I want to interact with, and I will add them to the info that was in the database, sorry. So as you can see, I did it to the main image, to the title, and to the price in dollars. And for the Bitcoin price, I would like to have something more nice, let's say. I want to have some sort of indication what the trend was, whether it went up or down. So I will add some logic that that adds the current emoji to the current situation, let's say. If my value is negative, it means that I didn't receive any data yet, so I'm returning loading. And if not, I will return the correct arrow and next to the price. Last thing I need to do, and I will do it when it's done. Here I will use my function that I just created to populate the Ethereum text box, and then I will do the same to the Bitcoin text box. Last thing, I will add the description, short description with the number of rooms and the address of this house. That's it, kind of, yeah, now. So we will go to the editor. We are going to publish. We are going to visit the site. And here is a live site. As you can see, I hope you see that the prices are changing. And now let's say I want to have a cookie banner for my site. So I go to the business manager. I'm asking for the pre-made cookie banner that Wix offers. I'm clicking one click. And there you go. We have a cookie banner, full functional, with everything you need. OK. So as you can see, those numbers speak for themselves. More and more developers are seeing the power of our platforms and are using Wix to build all kinds of projects. From developers who want to help a business owner that want to customize their site, all the way to startups that is searching for a quick time-to-market solution, and enterprises that uses Wix to drive their business forward. And each one of those projects is powered by the Velo engine. We call it the Grid. The Grid is a multi-data center Kubernetes deployment system. In each data center, we have a pool of warmed-up containers ready for a user code injection. Those containers are isolated and only serve one site. When a container is needed, we take one from the pool, inject it with the user code. This process takes around 100 milliseconds, and we got a live server that will serve a specific site traffic. After 5 minutes, we kill those containers, and if needed in the future, we will generate a fresh container when the next request arrives. And by the way, Wix uses Wix too. Let me introduce Wix Live, which is the hub of all things in Wix. More than 5,000 employees use this hub daily to log their vacation, order equipment, register for activities, buy products, and a lot more. It was a super complex project that required a real production system. So we had a quite big team that was working on that project. It integrated with many internal systems and database collection. And we did it using Wix, 100% Wix. So as a developer lead at Wix, I can tell you firsthand that everything we are doing is aiming to serve pro developers like you. Recently, we released GitHub integration with Wix that on top of all the basic abilities GitHub gives you, you get the option to use, product like Copilot, Code Spaces, and GitHub Actions. And you can, of course, you have a local mode of development, so you can work with any idea you want to. As we speak, my team is working on integration, with full integration with online VS Code. As I said, this project is in closed alpha, and I'm really looking forward to the day that I will be able to share it with all of you guys. We're also exploring more ways to open our platform. So we are exploring some CSS integration with the native Wix editor and bring any components and render it inside the Wix editor. But those products are in the ideation phase, and not sure how they will look like. So I spoke quite quick, so I have a lot of time, but what I'm supposed to say that I didn't have time to cover all of this cool stuff that Wix is offered to developers. So I will try to name them. We have Codex, which is a React visual IDE, where actually the designer can write the component for you, the UI and stuff, and then you just interact with it, and it's like performing like a native editor element. We have something called blocks, which are responsible, reusable apps that you can take across many sites and use them. We have also the app market, when you can offer your blocks for sale. And we have headless mode, where it means that you can use all the Wix API I just talked about wherever you want or however you want. And we also have what we call SPIs, which are our business integration points that let our developers extend traditional business flows like checkouts and shipping rates and many more. So follow us on Twitter if you want to see all the cool stuff developers like you is building using Wix. And if you got any questions, now it's the time. No? Cool. Thank you all.